Hello, everybody. Welcome back to the Chaos Archive, aka our YouTube channel. I hope you are doing well this fine day or evening, wherever you may be in the world. Today is going to be a little bit different. We have something new-ish. We have a podcast for you guys. This was filmed back in March of last year with me, Marwa and Ahmed, aka The Concept of Us. They are a Muslim couple living in the US, and they decided to interview me about being Muslim in the gaming space, how I ended up coming to the Oz lands. Also, I have laid the audio over a previous Sekiro gameplay so that you guys aren't just sitting there and listening. There is like stuff going on the screen. If you would like to listen as well, that's totally alright. If you want to watch as well, that's totally alright too. I'll see you guys in the next video. Bye.
Assalamu alaikum. This is Ahmed.
And Marwa.
And this is The Concept of Us.
I've been thinking, all these nights turning into these meanings. It's so misleading. Yeah, the concept of us is always changing. In God we trust, and through Him we'll make.
For those tuning in with us for the first time, thank you so much for listening to The Concept of Us. We have a super special guest with us. It's me, RoxxanXO.
Hello, everybody. Hello.
Hey. Assalamu alaikum. Thank you so much for joining us. And thank you for being so flexible with us on scheduling this and getting this recording done. Like, we tremendously appreciate you.
Life happens, so I completely understand. Completely understand.
It really does. Oh my gosh. Like the last couple of months have been so, I don't even know.
Yeah.
Like personally, like I've been in a what's the word? I don't know.
A hellstorm?
That too. Just going through the motions, like not even. Yeah. But we are excited. I feel like we're finally, getting back to our regular.
Yes.
Regularly scheduled program.
Yes, exactly.
That is life.
A little background. So we met Roxxan through Twitch. I think she actually came to our channel.
I think so.
First, I think so. Yeah. Because I saw y'all and I was like, all right, this is cute. Like, honestly, like, I wish like Hubs and I know Hubs. I don't want to I put him on Twitch once and I will never do it again. So I was always like, dang, that's super cute, man. Like, I love this. Like, so I was like, who is this? And then I just like fell in love and I was like, okay, I'm just gonna stay forever.
You are awesome. Like, I think you were like, because when we first started streaming, we didn't know of any other like Muslims that were doing it. And I think it was like you and KidY that were like the first ones, and we were like,
yeah.
Wow.
Yeah. Because I found that that like there's a lot of not to like go into the whole like rulings and all that stuff that I'm still not privy to. Like playing video games apparently is not good for us. And I'm like, I'm just gonna erase that from my mind. I love video games and I love seeing other Muslims play video games because then it makes me feel normal,
Right. Yeah.
Because then it's not like I'm the only one playing video games.
Exactly. Well, I guess on that note, do you want to tell everybody a little bit about yourself?
Oh man. Hi everyone. I don't even know. Okay, so I guess let's do like the quick and dirty version. I grew up in Alaska. And for a really, really good chunk of my life. And then COVID hit, which hit everybody. And then I had to move out of the state. And then I ended up in Australia 9 months later, after I moved to Georgia with my mom. Love you, Mom.
Georgia, the state? Or?
The state, yeah, the state.
Okay, cool.
I should clarify because there is a country named Georgia. But yeah, that's like the quick and dirty version of my life.
That's pretty cool. Alaska, how is it? How is life in Alaska? I think that's pretty Pretty
It
awesome.
is magical.
Yeah.
It is, but it isn't. It's probably one of the few places that I would describe as magical, because of like the mountains and the air and like it's like honestly, like if I'm gonna be like super like existential and meta and like all that, honestly, that's kind of where um I realized that there like has to be something of like a higher power because like seriously, who the F is going to make these mountains that touch the sky? Who? Like,
Wow.
let's be real. Who
Right.
is going to bring out the northern
Wow.
lights? Who is bringing
Right.
out these stars?
Oh, you got to see the
Like,
northern lights.
yeah, like a couple
Oh
of
my
times.
Oh my god.
Literally, me and
So
Marwa were talking about that like 2 weeks ago. I was like, I want to take a trip somewhere where we can see that. Like,
okay, well, like when y'all go, please let me know so I can come home.
for sure, we'll tell you that.
So it's like it's magical, and the snow, like a lot of people, I get it. It's freaking cold. I get it. But like
Mhm.
the snow is where like the magic happens. Like it is so beautiful. Like
Oh man.
I'm just gushing. I'm just gushing over Alaska. Like, I mean, yes, okay, listen, there are incredible downsides to living in Alaska. Like, it's freaking cold. You're isolated. Like shipping is really freaking stupid. It's high. You like if
Gosh.
anything happens, you have to have anything trucked, barged, or flown in. Like, it's like you're on a fucking desert island, honestly. Like
Wow.
it is. Like,
Gosh.
So
but
close yet so remote.
it is, yeah.
Right.
But I think that's what makes it so beautiful is like
Mm.
it is that like untouched piece of land, I guess, if that
Yeah,
makes sense.
Mhm.
And so I guess that's just what makes it beautiful.
that's awesome. That's really awesome. Because I mean, you always hear about the cold. Like, I work customer service kind of job, so I talk to people, and I very seldomly get some people from Alaska that call in that, you know, for whatever purposes, and it's always like it's either freezing cold, like just
Mm-hmm.
unfathomable. Like, I don't even understand how you can leave the house. But then they're just like, oh man, it's just the scenery is so beautiful, and the air feels so like fresh. Like
It
people that travel,
hurts
oh
your
my
lungs.
gosh,
It does. So like whenever you go outside, the
yeah, when it's
first
cold.
like so like the first like couple seconds when you go outside, like the best thing to do is to breathe super deep so that you can cut the hot air in your lungs and breathe the cold air in because it's gonna hurt a little
Oh
bit.
my
Wow.
gosh.
You're good,
That's
yeah.
crazy.
Not hurt as in like on like a pain level, but it's gonna feel
Yeah.
uncomfortable.
Ooh.
And so just to get your body used to being outside in the cold and breathing in cold air, that's what you kind of have to do the first couple times. But
Mhm.
other than that, like you have clothes that you can put on. Like sadly, I
Right.
can't just take a bear pelt and like put it over my body. Yeah, it's
Bear
great.
felt. See, that's the like the fur, like the real like genuine bear skin
Oh, it's
fur.
so pretty. It's so soft. It's honestly freaks me out that that is like that's like on an animal, but
It's
that can
amazing. I don't know,
honestly
like
Yeah.
rip your
they
face
have
off.
right,
Gosh.
right, and it's just like,
Yeah.
yeah, no, it's amazing. It's amazing because like you said, like this creation, like all of these things that are happening in the world that we see, like the natural beauty and then like this natural
Mhm.
environment, like it just doesn't just happen. Like it's not just because like it'll be created all with the purpose behind it, and it's amazing. It's always
It's
something that
crazy.
just
Yeah.
like
Mhm.
that's pretty
Yeah.
awesome. That's kind of like where you had your like that kind
Moment.
of that realization, like okay, like there's more to this than what I can see.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What also really kind of like made me start thinking is to like, okay, like let's go deeper, right? Like, why is the sky blue? Why does the clouds form the way that they are? Like, why does our brains fire the way that they do? Like, why are some people given more dopamine in their brain than serotonin? So like
Mhm.
it's more like that stuff, like learning more about like medicine, like gives me an appreciation for the like because like you're like how does this stuff like form? Like how? Because okay, if I'm so sorry, I'm getting met at like 9:23 in the morning.
You're good.
But like how does this conglomerate of bones and ickiness form? Like, you know, it's so weird. And then you like think about it and you're like, it's just really interesting that there's like one person in charge of like this entire life, I guess. And like, and that does exclude your mom, because like your mom will always be in charge of you to the day you die, whether we like it or not.
Right.
But it's just interesting. Yeah, we love moms. But yeah, awesome. It's crazy. I don't know, it blows my mind.
That is it is really amazing, like to see that, like just the like the science being explained through the religion, right? Like stuff that we learn in school that are backed and like factualized, like it's just it's crazy.
But that's not talked about, right, Ahmed? Like that's not so you learn, okay, the Big Bang Theory, okay, cool, that's science. Like we have like there's actual okay, not talking religion or anything like that, like there's actual science for the Big Bang, which I think is really, really interesting. But then you add religion into it, and then it actually talks about that. Like like what, like like fine, mind blown. Yeah,
absolutely, because
it's crazy.
And there's so much knowledge out there that's available for us to learn, you know, that's accessible now, that I feel like is more accessible now than was before. And I don't know, I feel like people don't really try to access that knowledge, right? Like they don't really go for
that's fair
that information. And it's interesting. I know this is a completely random thought that I'm having, but that's what you get when I record after a nap. So,
that's fair. I would also say like the double-edged, that's actually a double-edged sword. Like I honestly, like, okay, obviously all Muslims would love to live at the time of the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam, obviously. Obviously,
right,
because that's like the truest of information, right? That is like firsthand source, like from the horse's mouth, you know. So I think, I don't know, on the one hand, like it's nice, or it's actually amazing that we have all this information, but it's also really taxing and actually incredibly annoying, because you're trying to, so okay, also a little bit about me, like I am the only Muslim in my family. Like I converted myself, I did the research myself, I took on this path myself.
That's really awesome.
And so like somebody who's born into this is their whole life,
right? Like
they've grown up with this, right? They've grown up with the knowledge, well, not really the knowledge, but they've grown up with like the basic concepts, right? Whereas like even though I grew up with like Christian values and morals, like I never thought that I would even explore religion again.
Got you.
And so so a little bit of backstory to me, like when I was, I mean, kind of still a little bit now, I like man-made religion is actually really damaging to, I think, in pretty much anybody, right? So like if you go like to like a pastor, right, and they tell you about their religion, you're only going to get what they believe, and you're probably going to get an opinionated version rather than reading the text, right?
Gotcha.
Because the text is the firsthand, like for us, the firsthand source, right? Because we can't just be like, yo, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, what you mean by this though? Because honestly, Alif Lam Mim, what are you talking about? Because I have no freaking idea. You know what I'm saying? Like we won't be able to know that until we go to Jannah, inshallah. You know, inshallah. Like
that's definitely on my list of questions. Like, I mean, there's like literally books and books and books and books on what those like first ayah, that first verse in the Quran, like that chapter is. And it's just like it's amazing. Yeah.
So I did not want to explore religion at all. Like, to me, it was very damaging. And so I just kind of shut it out, honestly, because like it didn't really pose a benefit to my life. I was honestly like, I was working 3 jobs and I was also going to college. So honestly, when did I have the time to like think about anything in that sort of realm? And then just, I guess like one day I got existential as hell in my bed at night, staring outside. And I was like, shit, like, what is that? Like, is this like my entire, like, I went through like the whole questions, right? Is this my entire life? What am I here for? What is my purpose? Why am I here? Blah, 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 you know, like over and over and over again. And then here I am.
It's amazing. SubhanAllah.
Yeah.
That's
so like kind of on that topic of like, you know, like you're finding Islam and your research behind it, like what made you look into Islam specifically, and like what pushed you to it, like what led you to learning more about it?
So y'all have heard me refer to him as Hubs. He is now my husband. Oh my god, that's
congratulations.
That is so weird to say. Oh my god. Okay, listen, a little more backstory. So Hubs and I have known each other for like 16 years, right? So we met a bajillion years ago in another life, and in a game called World of Warcraft. And so we were like little teeny bopper shitty little teenagers, just like trying to go through this world, and we found this video game, and so we just met, not really like knowing much about him, but just knowing like he's a pretty cool dude. I like hang out with him.
It's
usually how it starts too.
Yeah, right. And so it just kind of grew from there. Obviously, like life happens, blah blah blah, right? And then we started talking again in college, and he kind of was like telling me a lot more deeper things about him, right? About like religion, and about like I had questions, of course. Like I have questions. When do I not have questions? It's like my entire life. And so we stayed up like, okay, fast forward, like 4 years. We started like, we had this like, I was like sitting in bed. We were just chatting on WhatsApp. It was like 3 a.m. And of course, existential Roxxan comes out, right? and so does Hubs. And so he was just asking me like all these like religious questions, all like, well, like what if this happens, and like why do you think of that, and like what makes you think this is not that, and like I guess I just kind of wanted to understand him better, because that's what friends do, right? Like you want to understand where somebody's coming from so you don't offend them, right? That is honestly my main fucking goal in life, is not to like offend anybody in my life.
Right.
That is a good goal to have.
Yeah.
So if I can like learn like the tiniest amount about somebody and about like their background, and then, you know, use that as like a jumping off point, that's what I prefer to do. Because then me showing interest in what they think / deem is important, is good. Yeah. Like you're building on a foundation that you want to make real. And so when he was like, yeah, we don't eat pork, and I'm like, okay, that's fine. That's like,
usually
that's
one of the
fine.
first things.
I mean, like, that's fine. Like,
Right?
like honestly, like bacon really upsets my freaking stomach. So like, that was like, I'm good with that. Check. Like, so like, that was fine.
No problem there.
Yeah, seriously. But then like, what was hard for me to kind of, or what is still kind of hard for me to grasp, is like the concept of like halal meat versus like Abrahamic meat. So like we can eat meat, but it needs to be like slaughtered in a certain way. And that is also found in the Quran. And so like that's what we follow, versus like if you are Christian or Jewish, I don't think that there is like a certain anybody correct me if I'm wrong. Like I'm okay with that. I don't think that there's like a certain way for their meat to be slaughtered in order for them to be for it to be eaten.
If I could be mistaken, but for Judaism, they have to have it slaughtered a certain way as well.
Okay, cool.
And then in Islam, it's recommended, like preferred to be halal, but it's not required.
Interesting. Okay.
Is that
just for like
school?
Depending on like your
school. Okay.
School of thought, I guess what it's called.
I think that is what it's called.
Yeah. School of thought.
Yeah.
But yeah, that is a tough one. Like that's I had a lot of friends growing up that like they also they followed that school of thought where they only ate halal meat, and it got tricky for us sometimes. Like we'd
choosing a restaurant
finding somewhere to go to eat, or like if they're gonna have a barbecue, they're like, is it halal? I'm like, I got you, bro.
Yeah, I got you. What I actually still use to like mitigate that, I just eat vegan or vegetarian, but then I also kind of go into the whole like, are these like, I go into the whole like deeper thought of it, right? Like if we are, okay, depending on your school of thought, if we are required to eat halal meat, are we technically required to drink halal milk or eggs, or like cheese, right? So like I went down the rabbit. I rabbited so hard. And so I was just like, it's not going to kill me to not eat meat. Like, whatever. Like, do I like eggs? Yeah. But like, I will say though, Australian eggs are incredibly better on the stomach than American eggs. 100%. Yeah. So, and I'm not going to go into the reason why, but I will just say that like,
we appreciate that. Let's not hear that.
No. So like a lot of, I think a lot of the products in Australia are a lot better than America, 100%. So like example, a Snickers bar. It tastes infinitely better here for some weird freaking reason, but it just does. Yeah, it's so weird.
Why?
I think so here they banned high fructose corn syrup, and so they have to use like actual chocolate, and I'm like, hell yes. Like,
when are we moving?
So it sounds like we need to
explore Australia.
Yeah,
listen.
Well, so that's. I don't want to sidetrack us but I want to just make a. So, you being vegan, vegetarian, kudos to that.
I'm not full-time vegan or vegetarian. Like it's like, so growing up in Alaska in the wintertime, like your body changes, like whether you like it or not, it's going to change in the summer and winter time. So summertime, you like a lot. There's actually a lot of people I found that a lot of people do not eat a lot of meat in the summertime. It is very fruits and vegetables. Like it is very light because it's hot. Like, okay, so like imagine like a good like 70. So anything from like 65 to 70 is hot for us. Like it is hot because we're not used to that, like, so like a good like 60s is like perfect. Like it is great. Like, but anything like 70 and above, that's where it starts to get like really dangerous because I don't know if anybody else knows this, but Alaska doesn't have air conditioning. So it is all fans.
Interesting.
It is all dunking your face in very, very cold water.
Wow, I know
it is. Yeah. So it when
AC in Alaska.
No.
I guess right.
But like no one thinks about it.
Like, because I mean it's winter most of the time there, unless it's. So is it like the 60, 70 like summertime, and then fall through spring it's freezing?
So I would say it starts to get cold. Okay, like everyone's going to have a level of cold, right? Like everyone's going to have like a threshold, but like to me, cold is like -10 and below. So, and that is also in Fahrenheit and in Celsius. But it's like, it starts to get cold, like brisk and crisp, I like to say, in like August. So like August is like when our fall, like, or autumn, whatever you want to call it, starts. And then it starts to start snowing around November, October. And then springtime starts around April, May.
Gotcha.
Yeah. So it's, and then of course it's opposite down in the southern hemisphere. So like anytime it is freezing in the northern hemisphere, it is hot and sweaty here. So it's really weird.
That's funny. That's really crazy.
It's amazing. There's zero humidity. I mean, okay, depending on where you live. Anchorage, there was like a tiny bit of humidity, but it wasn't like you can cut it with like a knife, you know. It was like a tiny amount to where like it was good. Don't ever go to Fairbanks. It is absolutely atrocious in both summer and wintertime, because you're in between mountains, so there's no way for the air to move. So you're just stuck in this hellhole of cold, and it's like a wet cold, which gets to your bones faster, which makes you get hypothermia a lot faster as well.
Yeah, no, thank you. No, thank you.
Yep.
I kind of want to circle back real quick.
Okay.
So growing up in Alaska and then moving to Australia, like that's big, right? That's not like moving down the street or to a different state. Like that's like across the world. So like how was that? Like how did you decide that? And then how did that go? Like what was that process?
Wow. Okay. That's a fucking long ass question. How much time do we have?
I'm glad you asked.
So Hubs came to visit me in Alaska. And I like showed him around. Of course, like it's Alaska in the middle of fucking winter time. Like nothing is gonna be open, bro. Like what do you expect? Like I know like that sounds so bad, but like what are you expecting? But also he wanted to come for my birthday, so I was like, okay, fine,
so cute,
fine. I know. I hate how cute he is, but like so I was like, okay, this is kind of like where everything is, blah, 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 right? Took him to like all my favorite places and like showed him around and blah, blah, blah. And then I kind of had like an existential crisis in my head, because I was like, I cannot have my very obvious partner that looks obviously not white American be in a country where it is not okay to be something else. And so I was like, no. So because it was more, I would say in that time frame, it was more of like a protective measure for him, right? I wasn't even thinking about kids. I wasn't even thinking about buying a house. I was just thinking, no. Right. For him, no.
That's awesome.
For me, it's fine, kind of, but I am not. This is going to sound so bad. Like it really is going to sound really bad. But it is very obvious that Hubs is not a white Caucasian man. Like it is very obvious that he is not. And I didn't want that to be a factor in why he gets treated horribly. You know, like
gotcha.
I understand, like, you know, to each their own. People are going to be jerks to whoever they want to be. But I was kind of trying to, I guess, protect him because I knew the political climate at that time and know of the like what people like to say, right?
Right.
Alaska, actually, they're very chill. There is a
cool.
lot of people, a lot of different races, a lot of different ethnicities, and like a lot of different nationalities as well, just living in that state. So like, was I worried about like Alaska? No. Like, but was I worried about the decisions that the United States was making at the time? Absolutely. And so I was like, okay, we need to think of a plan B. And so I was just working, whatever. And then I went to go and visit hubs here in the land down under. And I, also a little bit of backstory. Alaska, if you are listening to this out of the United States, Alaska, in my opinion, has great gun control, like as far as just like everybody in general, because everyone is usually a hunter, a fisher, a cop, a pilot, military, just kind of like in those spheres. So it is not uncommon to see somebody going into Walmart or Fred Meyer's or Kroger with a 9mm or a USP 45 strapped to their hip. No, seriously. It's sort of like, it's just like, that's just like the culture. That's just like how it is. And a lot of people would carry around like hunting knives and stuff because hunters, fishers, so like it is very uncommon, or it's not uncommon. So to me, like having knives on me at all times is like normal. And also Alaska is very sketchy. If you go into the weird wrong part, it gets really scary really fast. And I also worked at a jail. So I did not know so it was also like a protective measure, right? So fast forward.
Side note. Oh, and
I'm sorry. Yeah, sorry. I also worked at jail.
Just more casual, but no worries. You don't have to stop there. We can keep going.
Wow. I did.
That's pretty cool.
Yeah, that's like another interview in of itself.
Right. That's what I was
we'll
just
have
gonna say.
another episode featuring Roxxan in prison in Alaska.
Oh, that's
working
crazy.
in prison, Alaska.
It's
not,
like
not to confuse it with like you being in prison in Alaska.
Yeah, no,
let's clarify that.
I like to tell people that I would get locked up into jail every other week, and people would be like, "Oh my god, what the heck is happening?" I'm like, "Bro, it's okay. I just work there. It's fine." Like,
yeah, they pay me.
They pay me to go there. I've always wanted to like freak my mom out, and like that's okay. Like side note, I wanted to freak my mom out one time and just call her from like the jail phones in the booking area.
Gosh.
But I knew if I did that, I would not hear the end of it, and she would beat my ass. Like kill me. Kill me. So like
she would lose it.
My mom.
Well, I did call my mom like that.
Did you?
So in our first couple of episodes we talked about this, but when I was in Syria, I was arrested, and I had called my parents from the like prison.
Mind you, he was how old were you?
14.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, I figured. Whatever.
I was like, hey, I'm in prison, and this guard told me to call you guys. No one knows that I'm here. Yeah.
Okay, so you kind of accept it was real.
yeah, mine was and that created a whole set of theories. But if you guys want to hear that full story, go back to the previous episodes. Anyways, not to
plug real quick.
Yeah, not to sidetrack you from your topic. But yeah, so that's crazy. So yeah, we're not gonna prank mom like that.
We're not gonna prank mom. Love you, mom. I'm so sorry. Like if I ever thought
sorry for the thought.
You're gonna get in trouble just for thinking about doing this. So she's gonna hear this and she's like, I can't believe you did that.
Like, honestly, she'd probably just be like, liar, bro. Like get off my phone. Like,
right.
And then I'd have to like convince my mom that I am actually in jail. Like I am actually arrested. Like I think it would take more effort to convince her that I am arrested rather than like I am actually going to work. Like
right.
I'm dead.
Because just the relationship that I have with my mom. But I came and visited Australia in 2019, July actually.
Nice.
And that is so also that is the month in which Hubs and I got married and Arnika, and so like, yeah, I know we're like stupidly annoyingly cute. It's gross. It's so annoying. Like so annoying. I hate being like, oh my god, like we're so cute, but like honestly, like like throw up. But like
enjoy
you know,
it.
you have to like enjoy your partner. Because I actually did not want to get married. I was like dope being like single, Roxxan just chilling, whatever. But it took him to make me decide, okay, I guess maybe sure. I like you enough to keep you around for the rest of my life. Like,
I guess maybe sure. Why not? That's hilarious.
But yeah, that's like another like 6-hour conversation. But yeah, so we got married, and then I had this it was super weird. I had this like one feeling when Hubs and we were walking down this alleyway. I know because I'm like an explorer, so like I will just go. Like I see something, ooh, what is that? Oh my god, I smell something. What is that? Like, let's go. Like I'm down for exploring, even though like it'll probably lead me off a cliff, and that's completely fine. I know that about myself. For the record, I have not gone off a cliff. Like
that's good.
There right now.
That's good.
Alhamdulillah. But like because Melbourne is incredibly massive, it's probably on par with New York, and or like it's bigger.
That's awesome.
So I just went. I went down alleyways. I went down like sketchy places. And like I know like Hubs was behind me, but like I wanted to get a feeling of what it would be like to walk around in the streets at night alone. So, and it was an interesting feeling that I didn't realize until I started to go home back to the US. I got this feeling, or like I've always had this feeling, like when I was walking around Alaska or like the United States in general, because I visited other states because that's like my family's everywhere. And so I've always had a sense of like I always have to look over my shoulder. Like trust the hairs that stand up on the back of your neck, you know, like trust your gut, trust like the safety measures that you like Allah has given you, and like just roll with it, right? Because it's going like it is there for a purpose. Like your survival instincts are there for a purpose, regardless if it's primitive or it is current. They're there, so trust them. And then I realized, even though like I had like a knife in my pocket, because that's just how I am, even in Alaska. Well, I did like in Alaska, I did like in America, I did like that, but it's like, it's not uncommon. Right. So, so I never, ever once looking back at it, I've never reached in that pocket.
When you were in Australia?
So I never had the feeling of like the hairs on the back of my neck, or I never felt that like somebody is following me. Okay, obviously Hubs was following me, but like I never had like the sense of like I am in danger, red, like oh my god, like something is happening. And then I didn't realize that feeling until I got back on the plane to go back to America. And then I was like, holy shit, like this is exhausting.
That's
like,
interesting that you say that. Because like that reminds me of like when Marwa and I went to Mexico for our anniversary for our honeymoon. Our anniversary, I'm thinking. So yeah, like I don't think there was any point, like I think like our first night there, I didn't feel safe. But then after that, I felt comfortable. Like I literally felt like I was at home.
Yeah.
And then when we came back, it was just like
you feel that sense of
like tension, like there's
like you're scared.
There was like literally palpable tension in the airport as we're crossing back into check-in, like through customs. Like it wasn't like, oh good, I'm back home. It's like, oh, I got to get past these guys.
I have to like, you know, like work up the courage to like hey,
go back home. Right? Like how sad is that?
Yeah.
So it's interesting that you brought that up, because I never even really like thought about that. Yeah. But that's exactly how it felt. That's crazy.
A lot of people do think that there are no guns in Australia. That is an absolute lie. There are guns in Australia. You have to be, it has to be registered. It has to be in like a gun safe. You have to take classes, right? You have to pass like all these checks, right? A lot of things that the United States does not do, which was a driving factor for me, because I am a criminal justice like nerd. I love all things law and like all that stuff. And so I found that incredibly interesting. And I wanted to see, well, not only like be with Hubs, but like whatever. But like not only be with him, but also like kind of just see like how that works out in the long run. Because it's been this way for a really long time, and so has New Zealand. So I wanted to kind of, I guess, see from the like the law perspective how that worked out. But yeah, I do like, yeah. Are there going to be bad eggs? Obviously, just like the United States. But I don't think I've ever felt like unsafe. If that like unsafe in the sense of like how I felt back in America. It's so weird. Like, yeah. So yeah, sorry. I mean, I went on like a little tangent, but like,
that's.
But,
I mean, that's
yeah.
That's a pretty thorough answer. So I definitely appreciate that. We definitely appreciate that.
Australia is really cool if anybody wants to come. Like, I haven't really explored because like COVID. So but the parts that I have seen, I actually really like and actually really enjoy. But I don't like the bugs. But like, it is what it is. There's also fire and bug spray.
So I hear like Australia has like the world's most dangerous everything and most poisonous everything.
Yep.
I've heard of the spiders. That's all.
Spiders are.
That's all I'm thinking.
And then,
yeah, same.
Creepy. Oh my god.
Same. Honestly, I have like, it is like, okay, if anybody is not married and you are looking to get married, men, you will be the like the glorified bug killer. I'm so sorry.
Yes.
unless your wife is fascinated with bugs, and in that case keep her around, because there's not many of us.
No, not at all.
But yeah, Hubs sadly is the glorified bug killer, even though he's kind of scared of them, but he's like lived with them for most of his life.
There's some that are just like,
you're
like, what is that? Is that real?
Honestly,
there's a
spiders. Oh my god!
I mean, your guys' spiders are different. Like for us here in Missouri, we have some pretty dangerous ones. We have the brown recluse and black widow.
There's so many bugs here.
And but yeah, there's this one that it looked like a brown recluse, and it was huge. Like huge, like it was the size of an iPhone. Like, well, I'm exaggerating.
Oh my god!
Like maybe the size of your palm.
It was pretty big. Yeah,
you know?
yeah, palm.
Yeah,
That's
like the size of your palm, and it was massive. And
in the garage.
Yeah. It was trying to get in the house. It was in the garage trying to get in the house.
Right.
And
Could you imagine?
I trapped
the
it
house.
with a
Literally,
box.
exactly.
Burn the house down.
I'm like,
Ahmed, you are so much nicer to Allah's creatures, because no.
Oh my god.
No.
I will violently kill it.
I just threw the box outside. I just put it in a box and threw the box outside. I was like, "You'll get out." I'll come back and get it tomorrow.
I love that so much. Honestly, like, I know, like, listen, I understand arachnids serve a purpose in the great circle of life that it is our planet, but there needs to be like a boundary.
Even that, like, even like knowing all the different bugs that exist, like
that freaks me out.
But that also like solidifies like there is a God, you know?
Yeah.
Like,
yes,
all these different types of bugs.
There are so many different kinds that I've seen in our house alone. Like,
just in our house, I was like, what is that?
Ecosystem in your own house.
Ahmed, he won't kill them. He has to find a water bottle or a cup or something just to take it out nice and just
you have a keeper, Marwa, because I'm not.
I appreciate that.
For like me with spiders, I'm really fascinated by them. I'm not gonna lie, and
I will never come over to
I'm
y'all's house.
fascinated. Like I really
He has a
am.
whole
Like,
collection of them just sitting in a corner somewhere.
I mean,
Oh,
since
Lord.
really on the topic, there's one that's been hanging out.
No,
on
where?
windowsill.
Absolutely, I'm leaving.
Listen,
Goodbye.
we gotta go.
We gotta go.
I
And
see
the
him
recording.
during my calls. He like scatters around through the
Immediate.
windows, and I'm just like,
Dude, seriously, you
Immediately.
just keep it here. I see this.
I let him out.
And this is why we have separate like offices. Like,
This
not
is
okay.
why. Oh Lord, I am sensing tension. And this. Okay,
Yes,
listen. As
there
much as this
is.
is a podcast, this is also a marriage counseling service.
Yes, please. Thank you for being here, Roxxan.
Oh, you're
man.
welcome.
And
I'm
I
so glad
gotta
to be here.
throw this reminder out, right? Like a spider made the web. So I said him, he went in a cave when he was running away from those people. He was trying to like hide from people that were trying to kill him. And he went and hid in this cave. And then a spider made like a super intricate web covering the entrance. And they were just like, there's no way
really?
that he could have gotten in there because of this web. And subhanAllah is, like it's.
Now I feel guilty.
Okay, I feel only
I
the
take back
slightest bit
everything.
guilty. I only feel the
not to guilt trip,
slightest.
not to guilt trip, not to guilt trip. But
Oh,
it's just
not to guilt trip?
yeah, that's not why I threw that out there. But yeah,
Wow.
that's like
I
that's
didn't know
part
that.
of my like fantasization with them, I guess you could say, if
That
that's
makes
a word.
sense.
Fantasization, that's not a word. But yeah,
Your-
my appeal to
We can make
Your
spiders.
appeal.
Yes,
We're
There
making
we
it a
go.
word.
fantasization. I like that. That's going to be a
It's
concept of us
very-
term.
I'm okay with that.
We'll
Yes.
have to discuss that.
Yes, we're adding it to our dictionary. Let's see.
Okay. So
It's
on that
yep. On that note, we're here. Okay, sorry. Arachnid warning for
Coming in
anybody who is
spider.
afraid
Right?
with arachnids,
Me.
like I am.
Right.
Well, they're not
Um,
describing them like they're not telling details about their body and legs and
Uh,
how many eyes they have.
Can we not
and-
talk about the
No,
eyes?
I'm sweating profusely right now.
Honestly, right?
Can we just
Turning
kick
into something
Ahmed
else.
out?
Yeah.
Ahmed,
honestly,
get out.
You gotta go.
I'll mute myself now.
Oh gosh. Okay, so how do we transition next?
Anyways, what were we talking about? Oh yeah, spiders in Australia.
Yes, Australia. Going back
Australia.
to Australia.
Australia.
Yeah, so going back to Australia. So what's like the Muslim community like? Like I know you talk about feeling safe and
I have not seen a lot of the Muslim community because it's all right. We're gonna get to know Roxxan just a little bit more.
It's good.
I never felt like I fit inside of what it is to be quote quote a Muslim, right? Like and like I know no one knows what I look like, but I am like a mix, right? So like I am a tan individual, but like I am very racially ambiguous. And so I never fit into my white side and I never fit into my black side, because if I hang out with people on my white side, like I'm too tan. And then if I hang out with somebody from like my dad's side of the family, I am too white. So like I have this like weird like I'm in this weird limbo, right? So like I don't fit in either side. But I think there's also a beauty in that as well.
yeah.
So like being Muslim, like I never like I listen to death metal, I listen to metal, I listen to screamo, I listen to rock, I listen to any alternative. Like I have like I look the alternative lifestyle part.
Gotcha.
Like without going into like super details because hijab and all that business. So like I look like the alternative lifestyle part, right? And so I don't fit into what it means to be a stereotypical Muslim, right? So like I never fit in. And so like having to find friends within the Muslim space is really hard for me because I get treated like I'm a second class citizen, which I shouldn't be,
I'm
right?
sorry.
But I mean, I guess
shouldn't be.
like I
Definitely
guess
shouldn't be
that's just
treated
kind of like it is what it is, right? Like I guess that's just like the beauty of like there's going to be a space for me even in this vast world that is Earth. But Allah gave us a space to be who we are going to be. And so I find that to be really like shitty, right? Because like you want to like have friends in like the Muslim space because like that's like your whole like that's your lifestyle, okay, I know that sounds really bad to say, but that like
Yeah,
it
no,
is like
that makes perfect
it
sense.
is
Yeah,
it
it
is your
does make sense.
lifestyle now.
Yeah.
Islam is a lifestyle,
Yeah, it
right?
really
So
is.
like having other Muslims that can support you in that and basically help you live that lifestyle to its full extent, it's beautiful. It's
Yeah.
like it is sad, and I'm sorry that like
Mhm.
that you haven't found your community in Australia yet, but inshallah you do. Inshallah you will.
Inshallah. I mean, that's kind of why like I have you guys like
Yeah.
like
Well,
and I guess
the party shack,
that would
right?
yeah.
Yes. We need to
Yeah.
talk about the party shack.
Yes.
Oh
Or
God, that
what
is
the
a
party shack.
I guess I do want to like touch like a tiny bit more on them. So like the Muslim community is very like vast, right? Like you have everybody and their mother here. Like it is crazy. And so like I have not found like a mosque that I like, that like where I feel like I'm at home, because like you'll find that like there's a Syrian mosque, or there is a Sudanese mosque, or there is like a Malaysian mosque, or this and that and that. So like everyone does their mosques different, just like they do their churches different, just like they do their synagogues different. It's just kind of like that's just how it is, and that's kind of just the population that they're catering to, and that is completely fine. I am not dogging that at all. Like, go UBB, like love you. But also like for the people that are like coming into this, like I don't know what I'm doing, type vibe, like there's not like a mosque that's like that has like bright red signs outside. If you are a convert, come here, like like so you kind of have to like figure it out.
I never even really
yourself.
like thought about that too much. That is because I feel like people of all backgrounds, right? Like regardless of your upbringing, regardless of the color of your skin, regardless of like regardless of who you are, you should feel welcome at any masjid, like any mosque. You should feel welcome. And we know the reality is otherwise, unfortunately. But I feel like that has a lot to say to the community that we have as a whole, right? Like the Muslim community as a whole, where like even at my masjid, I've had brothers that converted to Islam that were interested about Islam, that when they went, they were like stared down. They're just like, what are you doing here? And like they weren't greeted with a welcoming smile or with an embracing attitude. It was what are you
why
here
are you
for?
here?
And, like I get, like, especially here in the States, people are a little bit more cautious and nervous when they see somebody that's not familiar, that's in their place of worship. There's like, is this a person that's coming to ask questions, or is this a person that's coming to cause problems? Like, what's the issue here? What do you want? But I feel like that shouldn't supersede the feeling of acceptance when you go to the masjid. Like, yeah, you can be cautious, be questionable, right? But still be welcoming.
Right. I feel like that's the one place that should be like that safe.
Yeah.
Like, that's not your building. That's literally Rabbi's house.
Yeah,
like, you're taking
like,
care of Rabbi's house.
Right. Yeah.
Yeah.
Like, even growing up in California, like our mosque, like I remember like being young, like 12-year-old girls would like go in and they're not wearing hijab, and then like people would like throw a hijab at them, or like, why are you dressed that way? Why are you wearing jeans? Like,
oh my God,
not okay.
That was like a whole nother conversation in and of itself that I wish. I think that that conversation is though being had with the younger generation. So like you and I and below, whereas like the older generation is still, this is going to sound bad, but they are like stuck in their ways, and that's fine. That's how they are, and that is okay. Well, is it though? No, but like, is it okay, like? That's just kind of is what it is.
It's exactly how you put it, right? Like, it's up to our generation and the generations coming to make the changes that we need in our community to feel more included and to be more inclusive, to be more welcoming, like to be more accepting, and like to help build each other up, right? Like
it's very interesting. So super side note, I went into, so if I were to come up to you on the street, like I'm very, like I pass very well as like looking like a normal girl, right? But of course, like I know no one can see me, but I have my septum pierced. So like I have a nose piercing. And so like it came out one day while I was in a like in an Islamic shop with like another female, right? And like of course I didn't feel it coming out, and I was like, oh fuck, like it's coming out, like oh my god, like I had that like sense of panic, like I had that sense of like she's gonna kick me out. I am not a Muslim. I am not like my identities are like just shattered, right? And then I saw that she had her like, okay, this is gonna sound weird, but like there is a web that is on the inner, like the uppermost part of your lip, and she had that pierced, and I was like, do you have it? Like I was like I was like in shock, because I was like, I am so glad somebody else has the want to like but you know what I'm saying, like you don't find that. And so like I came into this with like panic, and then like I am immediately like washed over with relief. Like alhamdulillah, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala like led me into that shop, because listen, like she is the cutest. I love her so much, like whatever. But like but being able to be your authentic self with somebody else that is also in the same lifestyle that you are in is actually very calming. And like a lot of people don't realize that. And that is how we also like break down walls and break down barriers between other people.
Absolutely.
So
I feel like it's such a blessing to find people like that too.
It really
like,
is.
Honestly, yes.
Like you just this overwhelming sense of relief. Like
you could just be yourself. Like
a lot of people are, there's like I don't know if this is like hadith or if this is just like a story, but like they're like it is said that before we are like human, like our souls, like our ruh, like are like just like chill out, right? Like just like bounce around in this like space, right? And if you either know right away whether you have met like somebody that your soul has met, because you just instantly connect, like and I think that's exactly like what happened with me in this other young lady. And it's just like I love her so much. Like I would never like let her go. Like, and Marwa, like same. Like I like honestly, like I when I met you guys, like I was like, damn, like have we like met? Like you know, you get that like deja vu feel. Like you're like, have we met before? Like is like what is happening? And then I go back to that story, and I'm like, fuck, like what like we're like long lost friends, like, and it's amazing to feel that way, because when you find your squad, like you feel like you can like take on the world, right? Which is really, really nice.
And just to like add on to that, like me and Roxxan had like a 4-hour conversation on, I think it was on Discord, right?
Yeah.
And I literally don't talk on the phone with people, like I hate it. But the fact that I was able to talk to you for 4 hours says a lot. So
and it was about shopping and coffee, right? And Ahmed was not invited. Like,
no, sorry, Ahmed.
Not in this conversation.
Not this time, buddy.
Not this time.
He's like, I'm good.
Oh shucks, I missed out. Darn it.
I give Ahmed so much shit, but like honestly, I love him so much. Like you're literally for like my brother, and like it's amazing that you just take so much shit for me, and I'm so sorry. But like but like it's crazy how you just find your soul people. That's like what I start calling them now, is like my soul people. And like non-Muslims and Muslims, right? So like that's like a thing for Muslims and non-Muslims. My best friend, she lives in Oklahoma. She is like the most nervous freaking wreck you will ever imagine. But her and I, we could just sit and just chill for hours. Like it is crazy how Allah does that to us and does that for us.
Amazing. That's awesome. So yeah, Party Shack. People are probably like, what are you talking about? If you want to kind of like let us know a little bit about it, so they know what they're getting into.
Fuck. Oh man. What is the Party Shack? So the Party Shack was originally, and still is, and will probably always be, a place where people who have never felt there is a place for them, there's a place there.
That's
so awesome. example, if you are a Muslim that doesn't fit into anywhere, you are welcome. If you are a geek and like anime and you are a hella nerd, you are welcome. If you like metal, you are welcome. If you like classical music and you're a dweeb and like violin and saxophone, like you are welcome. It was originally created because I never felt welcome in any space.
Gotcha.
And so I wanted to create a space for the people that never felt welcome and that never felt that they fit into anywhere. And that's why the Party Shack was created, because everyone else got invites to crazy parties, right? Everyone else gets invites to dinner parties and everything, but what about us, the ones that don't fit in? And so I wanted to give that space to not only me, but to the people that didn't feel welcome. And so there's always a space. I'm so sorry. There is a friggin' airplane outside that decides that they want to take off right now while I'm talking.
You're good. We don't hear it.
So, okay, because I hear it. It is so loud. But yeah, it is a space that I want to continue to foster to where everyone feels welcome, no matter what path of life that they are on.
That's awesome. Really awesome.
It's really cool.
And just to say, like, our first time watching your stream, like me and Ahmed were both like watching together, and we were just like so entertained. It was
literally
so
dying laughing.
And every single time, like, there's always music going, and the chat's always like going.
Oh,
it's so much fun.
It like
really
take control of the music.
Yeah, the
God.
Pokemon song. Oh my god.
Oh god.
Catch 'em all.
Ahmed loved
Gotta
it.
Catch 'em all. Pokemon.
I'm pretty sure it was stuck in your head. For days.
It definitely was. It definitely was.
But yeah, it's really fun. I really enjoy it.
It's a chaotic, wholesome energy, whatever the hell that means. But it is very,
I like that.
It is very chaotic. It is very wholesome. It's a lot, but at the end, I always feel like I guess I feel like if anybody's watched that show like Band of Brothers, that's like what it feels like. Like I'm gathering like my friends to just hang out with me on the couch and play video games with.
Okay.
Yeah, it's really nice.
Do you want to share what games you play or what types of streams you do?
Yeah. So I have a long history of watching YouTube videos, right? So when I think all of us do. But I always found that when somebody plays like a story game, and I understand that like YouTube, you want to edit it down and make it into like a palatable video, like 30 minutes, right? Like, so you're going to miss a lot. And so I always wanted to start games and like start them with somebody and end them with somebody, right? So that everyone gets the full story, because that's ultimately what I love the most. If it stabs you in the heart and makes you feel some type of way, or like makes you cry, or like makes you like super freaking mad, like I want that emotion to not only show, but like I want everyone else to feel that way, right? Because that's how you get a story, or like you like meet people, like you want to share a similarity, right?
Yeah.
And so I love story games. Like I love them so much. Like I played, what is it? I think like Life is Strange on stream, and I will never freaking do that ever again. That is like way too heavy. So like learning things like that, you know. But I've played like Horizon Zero Dawn on stream, Witcher 3, and I play them solely for the story. Of course, like little bits here and there, like side quests and stuff. But I love a good story game. If you can suck me in with a good story, I will buy the entire franchise. And I did with I did with Metro. Yeah, I did with the Metro series. It is an amazing story. I know that it's a book, but I suck at reading, so I played the video game. So it's an amazing game, and I love that whoever the developers are of these games can elicit a certain emotion, and they do it very well. So yeah,
that's awesome that video games can actually like do that.
Yeah.
You know, like we played like this crazy game. What was it called?
Heavy Rain or Dark Rain?
It was a random game we found on
that?
PlayStation. And it like
PlayStation game.
it was so weird. Like it really messed with us. Like
it was like it got
it was
depressing.
Yeah.
It got depressing.
Oh yeah.
And we both had different end results too, depending on how you play the game.
Cool.
I forget what it's called.
I thought it was Heavy Rain.
No, I'm saying like that type of game, like where you can control.
Like like you change the
whatever.
The outcome.
That is so cool.
Yeah, it was. Yeah,
I love that because like that, like it gives you like an authentic. I guess I wanted to have like an authentic like experience to a game. So like example, my like how I played Witcher 3 is not how a lot of other people played Witcher 3. So like I got a different ending and I also got different results. So and I'm not going to go into the reason why. You'll just have to come in and stream and ask me, and I will go into a long freaking rant on why I got a different result. And but yeah, so like having that connection, like that like superficial connection, like be like a video game, right? It's like example Witcher 3, and then being able to talk about like why or like what choices you made to get that ending. Yeah. So that's like awesome. Really exciting for me as well.
It's really funny because like you'll go to like your stream and it's like it's really fun. There's music going, and then you have like this really cool game. There's like a whole like story behind it, and then you come to ours and we're like, "Why'd you go there? Why'd you do this?" And we're like screaming at each other. And
if you guys really ever go to their stream, it is so funny. So when Marwa does no cam, that is like a sign where Marwa is like sassy and just annoyed, and just everything out of her mouth is just gonna be hilarious and so sassy, and I love it so much.
I think this is
but when Marwa is on cam, honestly, fair.
Right? I'm like, I'm not gonna be on camera, so let's let it all.
Let's let it all out.
Let it all out.
Let it hear my thoughts.
Right.
Yes, but I think it's so funny. But like anybody who is anybody is welcome. Like, and I love that about you guys' channel as well. Like, it's very welcoming. Like, I know like non-Muslims also come into your channel as well, and so do mine. And so being able to like foster that like good space, even though it's like, hey, I'm like add like a little bit of sprinkle of like, hey, I'm Muslim, but like also you have a space here as well. Like it is not just solely like Muslims, like
right,
not like girls only, you know. Yeah, exactly.
You're not allowed.
Exactly.
No, absolutely not.
And so yeah, and so I feel like that is also testament to how like a lot of people as well feel. Like they feel isolated, they feel like they don't belong anywhere, and so having a space where they do belong is really nice, because then you're also like letting them grow in themselves, right? So yeah,
that's awesome. That's really awesome. I mean, that's it's really a beautiful reason why you would start your channel and start streaming. Like that's really awesome, because like sometimes you hear people like, obviously, you know, some people like to really focus on trying to generate revenue from their stream. Like that is their purpose. They love gaming and they want to make money off of it, and that's cool, you know. Like they're like, more power to you. I hope you become the next big whoever. But the fact that you started yours based on wanting to make something that's inclusive for more people and to help people feel welcome and, you know, not that outsider in a situation, I think that's really cool.
Yeah. What
would you say is like probably been the biggest struggle that you've had with streaming?
I guess my biggest struggle is like, why am I not growing fast enough? So like if anybody is not a content creator like at all, or does not understand like how like it takes up so much time, because there are a lot of platforms that you have to upload everything on so that you can at least have like your visibility be out somewhere, right? Because, and that's like the really shitty thing, is that if your visibility is only on one platform, then they're not going to have people pulling to you. So people who post on TikTok, Hover, YouTube Shorts, Instagram, like all these like other like social media platforms, they get more visibility. And so I guess my main issue is like, why am I not growing fast enough? But it's also like, I don't have the time to put into all of that. Like, it is a legit full-time job. Having to like clip or like find a clip that's like 30 seconds.
Oh my gosh, yeah.
Is really hard. And like having to like post like an eye-catching thumbnail and an eye-catching title and like making sure that it's like under a certain amount of time, because if it's over a certain amount of time or it's under a certain amount of time, you're going to lose people. Like everyone has such like a short, really like a super short time span now as far as like information, that they don't want to sit there and listen to a 6 fucking long hour video. I'm that person that I will, because I like listening to the progression of a story or the progression of like how things are. But that's me. So like my friend Silent, he fucking hates sitting for 2 hours watching a movie, where I'm like, I'll sit here for 4 hours, but like because like I love the progression of a story.
Yeah.
Where he's like, I need it condensed, quick, like let's go, like I have, like that's just like how, but that's just how he is. So I like appreciate that about him, but I'm also like, can you get the fuck out of here so I can watch this hour long freaking video. So I guess like the visibility and catering to the short time span that people have in their busy lives, because you wonder, right, like, okay, I'm going to play this AAA game. So like, if anybody doesn't know what a AAA game would be, it would be like games that are like really incredibly popular. So like Elden Ring, or like right now Horizon Forbidden West, or like right now The Quarry is right now a AAA game apparently. So like, so
check that one out.
Yeah. So like if you stream any of those games, you're going to get bombarded, or you're going to be looked over because of the fact that you are a small person, like you're a small streamer. So you have 2 views rather than 1.5 thousand, so like,
yeah,
the people who have the more views are going to be put up on the higher list because they have the more views. And that's like really shitty. But of course that's just like how the algorithm is. So you have to try your best with the catchy title, the catchy thumbnails, the visibility on all social media platforms that you can. But that's also a full-time job.
Yeah,
it really is.
That's kind of what I've been learning with this, is like streaming is like, if I were to put some arbitrary percentage to it, I would say streaming is like 25% of it. And 75% is everything in the background, like going back to rewatch your stream and find the clips and highlight what you need. And like, yeah, you have tools that allow you to like flag something in the moment, but you still have to go back and watch and make sure that it's actually what you thought you flagged. And do I need to get these few seconds before it? And then, is this even in the right format? No, this isn't even downloaded in the right format. Re-download it.
Exactly.
Like, it's crazy. Like there's so like mad respect to content creators, really.
And honestly, mad respect.
Yeah, like 2 people, we're still struggling with it.
So I don't know.
Yeah.
It's hard.
They gotta have teams. They gotta have teams helping them.
They have to. It literally takes a freaking village. Like, one example. So when I was not working, when I first got here to Australia, I was like, I'm just going to stream full time. Like, what is it going to hurt? Right. And then I was like, okay, I'm going to try, I guess this is going to sound really stupid, but I want to try a day in the life of a content creator. Like, and I put that in quotes. And so what I did is I streamed for 3.5 hours, downloaded the VOD, edited it myself. Is that even a word?
Edited?
Yeah. Right?
Edited? We're just going to say that. Okay.
Yeah, that sounds right. Yeah.
I edited the VOD, and as much as I tried, I could not get it under an hour. And then it took maybe like 30 minutes to download the VOD, right? And then it took another 5 hours to edit it and then try to upload it to YouTube. So it's like, that's like a full day of just streaming, editing. And I'm only one person. You have to have, if you want to have any semblance of sleep and eating, screw the social life. Like, but if you want to sleep and eat, like, you have to have somebody to help you. Like, it is literally fucking impossible to do this by yourself. And like, literally kudos to people who do it by themselves, because like, honestly, I can't. Like, I sat at this computer for 12 hours.
Oof.
I could not. No, I was like, never again.
Yeah.
As much as I love I do love streaming, because it is like the authentic version of what you're going to get out of me as far as like a video game goes, like first impressions, because there's a lot of games that I never was able to play. Like, so because I played video games on like a shitty laptop in college, right? Yeah. So I never got to play like Horizon Zero Dawn. I never got to play Assassin's Creed. I never got to play Dragon Age. I never, like, there's like a slew of games that I never was able to play, and now I'm able to. And so, and of course, everyone's played these games before, but you're getting the authentic reaction from a first-time player. And I think that's the best, because that's like the first reaction. So like, I think I went into somebody's stream that was playing Horizon Zero Dawn for the first time, and I was like, ooh, buckle up, baby girl, because it's gonna be great. Like, but like, they're having that firsthand experience, and I love that so much. Like, about people, when you have like a firsthand experience and you get the authentic reaction. I love, that's like my favorite. That's favorite.
Really awesome. That's really awesome. I like, it really has been an amazing experience streaming, and just like being a part of the Twitch world. It's like, yeah.
So it's a lot.
It is. It is. There's so much to learn. I still feel like I'm still behind on so much, and I have still so much to learn. but it's cool. Like, I feel like that's part of the process. Like, I enjoy that. I enjoy the process of it. But
in order to learn, you have to have a process.
Right. Right.
Or else everybody would be doing it. Which I guess like that is like another shitty thing, right? About like just like a super big con. It's like, if this was easy, everybody would be doing it. Not everyone. I mean, the only time that you get partner is if you meet certain criteria, right? You don't have to be a good person, you don't have to be a bad person, but you have to meet a certain criteria in order for you to hit partner or affiliate, right?
Yeah.
And so it just kind of sucks, because like, you work so hard, and then you only get to see it if you meet those milestones.
Right.
Which I think is super shitty. But I guess that's just how Twitch likes to give their milestones out, like, you can't, I mean, we can change the world, but it's not going to change, I don't think, in our lifetime. It's probably going to change in our kids' lifetime, which is like super shitty.
Right.
But that's just kind of how it is. That's just how change is, right?
It definitely can be an adjustment for sure, going through those changes and like calibrating yourself with what you need to do versus what you are doing, like identifying what differences you need to make and like what you have to change.
Yeah.
But so like with your stream, like, do you feel that by streaming it's had an impact on your mental health?
Oh yeah, of course. So you'll hear a lot of streamers like hide their viewer count, and I think also being a faceless YouTuber, a faceless Twitch streamer, like, it's actually like really nice that I don't have to, not only about like the religious aspect, but like just in general, because I don't need little fucking teeny bopper adults judging how I look while I'm playing a video game, because honestly, I'm just fucking chilling. Like, I'm in sweatpants, I'm in a sweatshirt, I'm just chilling. Like, I'm just playing a video game. Like, I don't need you being like, oh my God, Roxxan, you are so hot. And I'm like, fuck you, I'm in a sweatshirt. Like, leave me alone. Like, like, honestly, like, it's just a sweatshirt, bro. Like, relax. What do you want from me? What do you want?
There's some weirdos out there. I feel like I feel like that's definitely been like that was something that I was afraid of for Marwa. It was just like having some weirdos in the stream that, just being weird, just doing their thing and
making it uncomfortable.
Yeah. Alhamdulillah. Thank God we haven't had any issues like that.
Yeah.
But like on the other side of that too, like someone like me who's like really insecure, like that was the thing that like made me not want to stream, was like
yeah.
I didn't want to
I think
on, you know.
but I think that's like a double-edged sword, right? So like with people knowing what you look like, you're putting your face is your brand, your personality is your brand, your who you are is your brand, and like how you portray yourself is how you're going to be perceived to the outside world. And so I think with being on a camera, it's a lot easier to have somebody relate to you. Yeah, because they're like seeing your face, and like how you react to things. Whereas like me being faceless, and I probably will remain faceless for the entire career that I have on Twitch, just like for like personal reasons. And I think it's
nothing wrong with that.
I prefer people with a personality rather than what they look like. So like example, my like a VTuber that like I just recently met, Rio. He's a VTuber. He doesn't show his face. Obviously, I know what his hands look like, but like that's the extent, right? And that is okay, because I fell in love with his personality and how he runs his stream rather than like what he looks like. Like that, like what you look like is secondary, and how you run your house essentially is primary for me. And so being faceless, I think, helps a lot of people feel more comfortable, and it allows them to be more authentically them. Because if you're worried about like how you look, or like example, like I have my septum out right now. Like if we were on video, I would be freaking out to making sure that it was like not crooked, or like my scarf was in the right spot, or like, you know, like I worry about like the tiny minute things that otherwise like I don't really give a shit about. So like being faceless is a lot easier for me to be more authentic, because you can accept me for who I am, and if you don't like it, there's the fucking door. Like honestly, like you don't have to like everyone. Yeah, you don't have to like everyone, and that's okay. Like, and I know that I'm not everyone's cup of tea, because I curse, I like metal, I like this, I like that, whatever, you know, like, and that's okay. Like,
no, it's good to be you. Like embrace you.
Yeah. I did have somebody, I guess a con would be, because I am Muslim, like technically we are not supposed to be cursing,
right?
Obviously. And that is okay. and that is we're okay human. Too. We're human. And of course, like when somebody comes in and they're like, "Oh, you shouldn't be cursing, you're Muslim," and I'm also like, "You can also get the fuck out of my house," because like because it's true. Like if you don't like how I run my house, there's the door.
Right.
Get out.
You don't have to be here.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Because I feel like there's you know, giving genuine advice, sincere, you know, like,
yes,
I'm concerned for you, I care about you, and then there's we're in a group of people, or we're in front of people, I'm gonna put you down, I'm gonna say whatever I can say to
make
myself feel better.
And I'm just like, you can take that somewhere else, man. Like you're doing worse for yourself than you are benefiting the logic that you have in your head. Like it's not checking out. It doesn't
and that actually damages somebody's mental health worse, because now I am, because now like I am self-conscious about what I'm saying. I'm self-conscious about how things are coming out of my mouth. I'm second guessing or triple or quadruply guessing how like I'm thinking about things. So like by you saying that comment and you disrupting my entire thought process and how like I have grown up for, I'm not going to say how old I am, how under 30 years old I am, like you are damaging something that is still in works. And like yes, am I going to answer for all of the cursing and all of the bad things that I have done? Like I know that I am, and that is just the grave that I have buried for myself. But don't like come into so like that is like a huge con, is like you not even in the streaming space, but also like in the Muslim space, like don't come in and tell somebody that so don't haram police people, because you are not Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, you are not Arab. Like you know nothing. Like honestly, like you know nothing compared to him.
You're gonna be
so
standing right next
why
to
are
me.
you? Exactly.
Right.
So yeah, but then in the streaming space, like a lot of people and a lot of viewers don't really understand. And like I didn't understand until I started, like how hard it is to press that go live button because you're scared. You're scared that somebody's going to come in, just like what Ahmed said, like somebody's going to be a creep, somebody's going to be weird, somebody's going to make the space uncomfortable for you, and then in turn going to make the viewers that are in your space uncomfortable. When you have tried really hard, like incredibly fucking hard to make it so comfortable for people that somebody's coming in and demolishing your house, and you're like, what are you doing, bro? Like, what are you doing? Get out of my house.
I say thank God for moderators.
Yes, moderators. A big pro is moderators. Like if you need a moderator, like please, like do not hesitate to like put on Twitter or like any social media space that you have, like, I need a moderator for blah 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 time, I'm in blah 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 time zone. I'm guaranteed that a lot of people will say yes, because they know what it is like. So I am thankful that I have like a couple of moderators, but usually I just make fun of people and just scare them out of my chat.
Well, there you go.
But it's like you don't have a right, like you really don't. And so I think is a pro and a con, kind of both. Having somebody come in and you are able to stand your ground because this is your house. Yeah. Like this is not theirs, this is yours. That's your space. And so, and if you don't, and I think what a lot of viewers don't realize is if you don't like the content that is being played that day, you can fucking leave. Like you don't have to stay. So you can, you're not obligated to be here. Like, I'm not holding a gun to your head. And that's also just boundaries, right? So like as much as like my community is like my conglomerate of friends, and kind of like a mirror image of me, just kind of like about my personality, like I still want to respect their space because like they because even though like they come to me for entertainment, I want to still have that that like, I wouldn't say like parasocial relationship, but kind of like yes, you guys are amazing and I love you all so much, but like also boundaries, right? Like because then it gets too personal, and then I don't want to say like I get too invested, even though like I'm already freaking invested, but like I get and like I get more and more and more invested, and like it's actually in that sense it's damaging, right? It's hard to dig yourself out of that grave, unfortunately.
So I guess with that said, if you could have a lasting message for the world, what would that be?
It's going to be super corny, but not every person you meet is either out to get you or is like how they come off is not actually how they are. So you're going to see somebody coming at you in a certain way and or looking a certain way. Don't assume that's how they are, because as we have discussed, I am not the typical Muslim. I am not the typical female. I am not the typical like African American woman. Like I have a lot of facets about me that a lot of people are not privy to. Well, I mean, now the fucking world is now, because here we are. But like when you look at me, you don't like, I come off one way, but I think that's also the beauty of why we dress the way we dress, because of those eyes and how we are perceived to the world. So yeah, if you want to get to know somebody, actually get to know them and don't be an asshole.
Love that. Yes.
That's awesome.
Because no one needs more assholes in the world.
Right? There are enough.
Because there's already enough.
We've had we're good.
Learning to be patient with people is really important, because not everyone is going to divulge their entire life to you. yeah, just
Yeah.
remember to be kind, honestly, because that's what we need the most, and patience.
Yes, please.
Definitely
Yeah.
do.
That is beautiful.
Yeah. Thanks guys for having me. It was such a
Oh,
pleasure.
no,
Like,
thank you.
honestly, I love to hang
Thank-
out with y'all. This felt just like a conversation and not even like an interview, which is great.
Right. I'm so glad we finally got to do it, because I know we've been talking about this for months. And like I swear, when we first watched your stream, we were like, we need to have her on as a guest. Like, yeah.
Oh my God, you guys
really,
are
really
so
appreciate
sweet.
it.
I'm
thank
gonna
you.
start crying. Y'all are the best.
And you woke up early for us.
Yes,
I
like,
did.
we're
It's like I was
Central
already
Time.
awake. Okay.
Like, what time is it for you right now?
So it is currently 11:05 a.m. on
It's 11:05
Saturday.
a.m. It is 8:05 p.m. Friday for us.
Oh man.
So you're in the future.
I am the future right now. It is very cold because it is chilly here a little bit, and it's
Literally,
pretty
very cold
it's pretty chill. It's really nice. So it's chill.
today. I like it. I like it.
So awesome.
Thank you again. Like, seriously, thank you so much for taking the time to really sit with us and to share your story and your experiences and your life. And we definitely look forward to having you on again in the future, inshallah.
Inshallah.
Always welcome back.
You guys can find her on Twitch. It's me, RoxxanXO. We'll have it in the description.
Thanks guys for having me. It was so amazing, just chilling.
As always,
you are loved.
You are not alone. Take care.
I feel so misunderstood. Something I never understood. On the outside it looks so good. Inside I'm not feeling good. I'm thinking all these nights turning into these meanings. It's so misleading. Yeah, the concept of us is always changing. In God we trust, and through Him we'll make it, make it, make it, make it.
Wow, what an amazing time and an amazing couple they are. I love Marwa and Ahmed a lot. They are near and dear to my heart. Again, thank you so much, Ahmed and Marwa, for allowing me to create a podcast with you guys. I hope the viewers, you enjoyed getting to know me better, getting to know Marwa and Ahmed a little bit more. I know this was an unconventional video, and I hope you guys enjoyed it. And I will see you guys in the next one. Have a good night. Have a good day. Please be safe. And I will see you guys in the next one. Bye.